My next guest is someone I've known for about 20 odd years. He's the most fabulous person. He has so much energy, so much life. He makes me laugh so much. He is a wonderful human being. He started off, I met him when he was a dancer. He was dancing at my big parties and so forth. But we've developed this friendship over a long period of time, and now he's gone on to be one of Melbourne's best osteos. He is fantastic. When I go and see him, and trust me, there's a lot wrong with my body. When I go and see him, this guy has magic hands. Dr. Leo Cornelius, welcome.
Good morning, D. Murphy. I'm very happy to be here.
How are
It's
you?
exciting. Yeah, I'm pretty good.
Yeah,
a little bit nervous,
Well,
but
for someone who I always thought was an extrovert, you said to me yesterday, you're an introvert.
yeah, 100%.
How does one be on stage in front of all those people dancing your ass off in some of the skimpiest outfits I've ever seen in my life?
Yeah.
And be an introvert.
It is a bit of a conundrum. Like, I don't like being the center of attention in a public forum. But when I'm on stage, I have rehearsed.
Yeah. When you're on stage, do you feel like
I think I play a little bit of a character. Like, I try to be, because I don't think I'm a sexy person in normal life, but when I'm on stage, I like to be sexy.
Yeah, well, when we cut this all up, I'm sure this will be a bit of a thirst trip with you and your muscles.
I feel like I'm wearing too many clothes already at the moment. Should we change?
This is the most I've ever seen you wear. So tell me a little bit about, because you're one of 6 children.
Yes. Yeah, I'm the youngest.
You're the youngest. Now, my sister is the youngest of 3, and she always feels forgotten. How forgotten were you?
Not at all. I was very spoiled. Like, all my brothers and sisters they do keep an eye out for me and take care of me. I think they think that I can't actually look after myself.
Yeah, right.
And mum was always like, I pretty much kind of got whatever I wanted when I was a kid.
Yep.
I think because I had 2 serious operations when I was younger, so that kind of worked in my favor. One was I had a fracture underneath my eye, I don't left or right eye. And that was like when I was 5 years old, and I was in hospital and I had to have surgery for that. But when I was 10, I had a ruptured kidney.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And
did you end up getting the kidney taken out?
Yeah, they removed it. So it was a congenital.
Out of 6 people, family members, there's not one that could have donated a kidney.
Yeah, you can survive on one.
Oh, you can survive.
Yeah, survive on one. Fine, but it was a congenital defect, and I think mum felt a little bit guilty because, like, that was like 1979. You didn't have ultrasounds, or they weren't like mandatory at certain times. So I don't think she had any of them, and they would have picked it up when I was young.
Yeah, it's funny how so many things have changed. Yeah. I had half my lung ripped out when I was 14, and
it's crazy.
I think maybe nowadays it would have been a keyhole surgery, but I had the whole thing ripped open.
Yeah.
So you always aspired to do really big things with your life, didn't you?
Kind of, yes, but I've had a lot of trouble with follow through.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
So as a kid, you aspired to, do things like maybe be a pharmacist or a vet or those kind of professions, which is really unusual because you kind of started studying stuff, didn't you?
Yeah, I started. So out of high school, I did a year of science engineering double degree. Yep. But I only did that because I got the marks to get into it.
Yeah, right. So you didn't really, it wasn't something you were passionate
about. No. So I did science. Like, I'm passionate about chemistry and physics. So I loved those subjects, and doing like electrical engineering or chemical engineering was also very interesting. But it was so maths heavy.
Yeah, right.
And by that stage, I've been doing double maths for year 10, 11, and 12. I was so sick of maths. Yeah. And I came out at 18, and I found that going to the Peel on a Sunday night was more fun than going to my 8 a.m. Monday lecture.
So you're studying, you're doing this course that you didn't love, and then all of a sudden, was the desire to be a dancer, was that always with you, or was it something that just randomly came out of the blue?
Well,
you used to dance at clubs with your top off and you thought, well, I can make money out of this.
Well, that's how it kind of
happened. Like a stripper, but not really.
That's how it kind of happened. Like, as a kid, I used to watch Janet Jackson, Michael Jackson, and on video hits on a Saturday or Sunday morning. Used to record it and then just play it over and over and learn the choreography. But I never did any dance classes when I was a kid. And it wasn't really anything that we were pushed into or encouraged to do. Yeah. So I used to just dance at home, and then when I started going out, I used to go to like Three Faces and the Exchange, and I used to watch.
Show your goods.
Yeah, well, I used to just dance on the dance floor, but I used to watch the shows. I remember like Caress used to dance, and she had dancing boys. There was Fab. There's another guy called Brent. There was a few of them. And I was like, I would love to do that. And then I met one of the dancers, and he was like, why don't you just go to dance school?
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? It's like,
so you're doing this boring course, and you went, dance
yeah.
school?
I was like working hospitality. So I dropped out after. So this is at 21.
Yep.
I dropped out of uni. I was just working hospitality, and he was like, go and audition. And so he helped me put together a dance for my audition.
Janet Jackson.
No, I did it to like shackles, man. Right. Shackles on my feet so I can dance.
Yeah, you're right.
And I auditioned and I got in.
Yeah.
And I had the money at the start to do the course. And I was working as a temp at Primus, which was like just in their call center.
Yep.
And I was earning good enough money that I could pay for school. I could pay for my rent. I could eat, that kind of stuff. And then I got retrenched 6 months into the course.
And you couldn't afford to do the course?
Well, I then just dropped out because I couldn't find, my hours were really weird. It's like 2 till 8, Monday to Thursday, then a Saturday morning.
Yep.
And I couldn't find a job that could accommodate that.
Yep.
And so my sister hooked me up to work at Optus in their call center, but it was a full-time job.
Yep.
So I quit dancing and I worked at Optus for 4 years.
How much of a scratch was still there for the dancing though? Were you just sort of furious that you couldn't kind of
I wasn't furious because at the time when I started in corporate, my partner at the time was not encouraging me to be a dancer.
No, because he was jealous because you had the moves.
Maybe, yeah. So I used to just like go out clubbing and dance. Yeah. I used to dance at the nightclub. We used to go partying at dance parties. I would just have fun on the dance floor. And then it wasn't until I was 25 and I was looking at, I'd met someone in Sydney and I was thinking, oh, maybe we could be together. I could move to Sydney. So I started looking at jobs within Optus to go move up there. And I applied for a couple and didn't get them. Yep. But my future was going to be behind a desk.
Yeah, right.
And I was like, do I really want to do this?
Yep.
And so at 25, I decided, you know what, I need to give this dancing thing a go.
Which is kind of, it's I hate to say it, but it's kind of old for
it's really old, yes.
When the younger ones are coming out through dance school and whatever and getting all these gigs, 25 it's a big gamble for someone to go, but it's also chasing that dream of yours that you kind of had, yeah?
Yeah, 100%. Like I was like 5-6 years older than the people that I was doing the course with, but because I knew I didn't have as much time to dance, I worked harder.
But no one knew that you were that age anyway, because you've got that beautiful Asian skin, you know?
Yes, I've got good genetics. Yep.
So you do the dancing, you get very much, and you're a good dancer. Like if you ever have a chance, honestly, and you're still doing some.
Yeah, I still do. I still dance in a Kylie Minogue tribute show called 100% Kylie.
Ever get a chance to go and see it? Go and see Leo dancing.
Amazing.
You're amazing. Like you always, when I would have my shows and run these big parties and whatever, you were always kind of one of the ones that always stood out on the stage. You just had this presence about you.
Because I never had that confidence, actually.
Which is weird because
it's so weird. Yeah. So I used to, because I didn't train for very long. I trained for like a year and a half before I got my first contract overseas. Yep. So my technique was not very good. My flexibility was not very good, but I did have a body.
Yeah.
And I was easy to work with. So
not, at times you were bearable.
Yeah, but like most of my gig work was like I was training for when I went back to training for 6 months and I got a gig at the Exchange.
Yep.
And I was in Savage, if anyone's seen that. Like it changed.
It was the show, wasn't it?
It was the show. It changed how drag shows were being done in Melbourne and on the Strip. Yep. And we worked really, really hard. Our choreographer was a ball breaker, and we would rehearse maybe 3-4 nights a week when we were mounting a show. Yep. But once the show was mounted, the choreography was clean.
Yeah, right. Yep.
And it was such a busy time, and it was great. I had so much fun. It was like part of my social life, being out.
What do you think about all these? Because for years and years, it was sort of. Everyone loved the dancers, but boys would normally be afraid to dance. Mm-hmm. You know, boys are very shy about getting on dance floors and dancing at the start. And then all of a sudden TikTok comes around.
Yes.
And then you've got all these guys, you know, doesn't matter what they are, gay, straight, whatever, doing these 15-second TikTok videos. Did it kind of excite you that people were out there expressing themselves in that kind of form? Or did it become like, You know, there's now too many of us.
No, to be honest, I don't actually watch TikTok. I don't do any. I'm too old for TikTok. I don't do any of those dances.
You know?
But I think it's great that. So even when I was dancing, with it either being faggy or feminine to want to actually dance, whereas now like things like So You Think You Can Dance, World of Dance, like that kind of
It's
stuff.
sort of broken down those walls,
Yeah,
hasn't it?
people actually admire dancers for how much work it takes and how phenomenal.
That's
some
what I always
people are.
loved about it. I always thought that because you know, as a promoter running events, you want to pay people what you think that they truly are worth. And what you guys used to put together was these amazing performances, amazing shows that captivated audiences. And I never felt like I could pay you because everything had to work in with a budget. I didn't feel like I could pay you guys what you should have been paid for the effort that was put in. Did you used to find that with a lot of gigs? It's like, okay, by the time we break it down with rehearsals and so forth and the major show and blah, 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 it's a fine line between whether you're getting paid enough money or not.
Yeah, like the money for performance was good.
Yeah.
The amount of work that went into that performance, probably if you break it down, is not that great an hourly rate. But that's the way kind of things were done.
And with people like yourself who had so much experience, and then you were dealing with a whole bunch of guys and girls who had experience as well, did that speed up the process? You knew how to get a rehearsal done really quick to maximize on the money?
Sometimes, yeah, because sometimes we call it community choreo. So there was choreography that we had either done at other places or we all kind of knew. Like there's this one break called Janet, which is out of a Janet Jackson film clip that we all know. And like sometimes we'll do it on stage and there's people in the audience doing it and it's like, oh, that's a bit embarrassing because we're still doing that choreography.
Yeah. But it gets the job done.
Yeah, 100%. It made it much more efficient.
You been in that world for a long period of time, and then all of a sudden, for me as a promoter, that I felt like the scene changed once meth hit the marketplace. I really did feel it as I felt like numbers dwindled quite a bit. I remember the first party that I was running, and people used to get there. We run these day parties. People would get there at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. People weren't getting there till 4 or 5, and I didn't know what was going on. But then this drug meth had really hit the marketplace. And what you found yourself being introduced to meth, when was it?
I think maybe about 2004 was the first time I tried it. I had some friends.
Did you understand it at the time? Because that was early in the piece when it just really hit the marketplace.
Not at all, no. It's just some friends that I had in Sydney that I used to go up and visit and party with them quite a bit. They introduced me to it.
Yeah. Your introduction to it led you on a journey. Tell us a little bit about that.
So throughout my 20s and 30s, throughout my 20s, didn't really use it very often. But come to my 30s, my meth use definitely did increase and become a little bit more regular.
Yeah, right.
And there was probably a time where in the space of a year, a little bit longer, where I was using meth every day.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So
Did anyone around you know at the time?
The friends that I was doing it with did. There was one mate who could always, like my best friend Benny,
always tell.
He could always tell if I had been on it or not.
Yep.
And so I just stopped seeing him. Like I kind of distanced myself.
Did you feel like it was kind of like a bit of a judgy thing? Like you felt, not that he would say it to you, but did you feel like I'm letting him down as a friend because I'm always kind of on it, or what was the?
It's more of it's shame.
Yeah.
Shame. It's not. It's an ugly drug.
Yeah.
It is. It doesn't bring out the best in people.
What was the grip that it had on you? Was it because there's a number of things that I've found with people that I know, my ex business partners and friends and whatever have been addicted to meth. There's always been something that has been the trigger point, whether they were lacking confidence or whether it was a sexual thing, whether it was, it gave them this sort of persona that they didn't have before. What did you find it with you?
A little bit. There was a sexual element. Yep. There's such a big, deep connection between gay men, meth use, and sex.
Yep.
But
it's not just the gay community.
No,
there's a lot of people I know who were
more prevalent.
Yeah, I would say so. But the heightened level of sex on it becomes a thing, straight or gay.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but I think also a little bit of it was I didn't feel that I could be loved.
Yep.
Yep. This is going back a little bit. I'd had an experience where I had met someone, um, and I met him at the gym.
Yep.
And I saw him, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get to know him. He's gonna be my boyfriend."
Yep.
And he had a boyfriend at the time.
Yep.
And so we would hang out a lot. We started training at the gym together, and then he had.
This is why you're on meth?
No, so this is before.
This is before,
So I've had used it occasionally here and there, but this is before I was addicted.
Yep.
And he had talked about wanting to become a DJ. Yep. And so I was like, okay, well, I work for a promoter who runs gay dance parties. Put together a CD for me, and I will give it to him and see what happens. And lo and behold, it happened that he won a competition. Yep. But in this time, we were starting to get very, very close together, and he had told me that he was falling in love with me.
Right.
And I was like, well, I am actually in love with you. I said, but at that time, he was with his boyfriend. I'm like, but we can't do this.
Yep.
Yeah. And so, space of a couple of months, I was kind of sitting around waiting to see what was going to happen. And then he chose someone else.
Yeah, right. Which breaks your heart?
Broke my heart. It took me such a long time to get over that. But I think because of that feeling of being unloved and unwanted, I probably started using drugs.
Yeah, right.
And crystal meth more often.
Yeah. Sort of an escapism?
Escapism, yeah. Because you don't have to think about it. You don't have to think about the real... you don't have to think about real life.
Yeah, right.
Yep. When you're high on meth.
It also led you on another journey.
Yes.
And that was contracting HIV.
Yes.
Do you feel like, I mean, obviously now, do you feel like the two went hand in hand?
100%. So I was using meth and engaging in risky behavior. I didn't think it was super risky because we'll have to edit this out. I wouldn't let people come in me.
We might edit that out. Or I might leave that in. We might leave it in.
I didn't think it was super risky.
I'll talk to my producer and see what he says. Leave it in. Leave it in.
But I went and had an encounter where I was like, oh, maybe I should go and get some PEP, which is post-exposure prophylaxis. And when I went to the hospital to go get it, they take blood tests. And then you go back to the doctor and you have your follow-up appointment and they're like, you're actually HIV positive.
Right.
And I was like...
With that news, like did that, I mean, in the world that we lived in at that particular time, there's still a massive stigma about HIV. How did that affect you?
I went and just tried to destroy myself. It was not a good time to get, like I had exams for university and uni was like the workload for uni this is when I was starting to be an osteo.
Right,
The workload for uni was massive. Like I had no social life. I used to study, I used to work, and that was it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I've got HIV. So I went on a bender. Yep. And
how long did the bender last for?
For about a week.
Yep.
Before I kind of got to the point where my exams were going to be in a week's time. And I went and spoke to one of my lecturers and I told him, I said, I've just found out I've contracted HIV. I'm taking a lot of drugs. I don't know if I can do exams. And he's like, well, you got two choices. You can either drop out and just come back next year. Yep. Or you can get your shit together, sit your exams. If you don't pass, come back next year. Like, okay. Good advice. Very good advice. And so this is the bad part. I got my shit together. I studied and I got the best marks I've ever gotten.
Wow.
For my exams for that semester.
This is all while using and having spiraled out of control and distance yourself. Did you find you distanced yourself from friends and everyone at the time?
I definitely distanced myself from my family. Yep. Some friends like my bestie. Yep. I definitely saw a lot less of him. Yep. But then I had other friends.
Do you find that he was instrumental into enabling you to do more meth?
No. So he was the one that could always tell if I was on or not.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah. There was another friend in your world though, wasn't there?
Another friend in my world who I'd been friends with since like 2000 and Oh, we don't have to worry about that. So another friend that meth became very prominent in our day-to-day life, so our social gatherings.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
So that's why I've always thought you've been such a remarkable person, because at the time when your life is spiraling out of control, you still had the ability to go, well, I'm going to go and study this course of becoming an osteo, which is not easy.
No.
Like, it's not an easy course. How many years is it?
It's 5-year course. Yeah.
Okay,
and
so
we have like 14 exams a semester.
how long in total did was it after you did the course and finished that you actually you got off meth?
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
How hard was that process for you?
So I knew that it was, if I wanted to be the best osteopath that I can be, that I couldn't be doing it.
Yep.
Yep. Because it was destructive. You wouldn't sleep. You sleep every second or third day.
Yep.
And I can't, when your nervous system is so jacked, which is what meth does, I can't feel what someone's body actually needs.
Needs, right, yeah.
Because my output is too much to receive their input.
Yep.
So it was a process of maybe a year where I consciously made a decision that I need to stop using it, to the point where I stopped completely. Yep. But
that's a strong mind, because there were so many people I know who got hooked on meth, didn't have the ability to be able to get off it. No, and these were people who, were highly successful in their own right, in businesses and so forth, but they didn't have the ability to be able to get off it. That's a strong mind. Who obviously, clearly, you had purpose. You'd found purpose again.
Yep.
Would that be?
Yes, 100%.
Yep.
I think because some people that are on it think that they're functioning well. Like, oh, this is not a problem for me because I function.
Yeah.
But you never function as well on meth as you can when you're off it.
Yeah, it's one of those things too. I hear a lot of people say, oh, yeah, but I don't do it Monday to Friday. I just do it on weekends. And I'm like, you're still a functioning addicted to meth individual. Yeah. It's hard. It's a tough drug. And that's why I've always said about you, you have this amazing ability to be able to, even in the worst periods of time. See, I knew you right through all that, right? And I never saw you in a spiraling hole. I just saw you as Leo, this guy who had this amazing personality and would greet you with a smile and, dance his ass off and, always seemed like you had your life in control, but it wasn't in control for quite a few years.
Yeah. There was one time, and when I think it was one of the first shows you got me to choreograph.
Yep.
A Halloween show where I nearly felt like I was going to have a nervous breakdown.
Yeah,
because I had a huge
much to
study load. I was working. I was again sleeping every second or third night.
Yeah.
And it was in choreographing and
and I'm a pain in the ass.
Yeah, well, no, it wasn't too bad, but like for me, choreographing is not like a easy task. It's not very natural. I spent a lot of time finding the right music. Yeah. Really trying to put together the vision.
You're a pro. Like you're so on it. You give those jobs, and I'm not easy. Like I was really like, yeah, this is my dream, whatever. And you would come through with the exact dream. Like, you're so good at what you do.
It's fun. I loved putting together shows. I think maybe only one or two actually were executed the way I envisioned it. Yeah, like, there's been some really funny things.
That's your OCD.
Yeah, and that's live theater, that's live theater.
Time when they finally came out.
It was fun. Like the funniest one was when we did the New Year's show and we had all the volunteers, and I was like, fuck. Yeah. Do you know how hard it is for me to get volunteers to dance, to come to rehearsals, to manage them on stage? Because a lot of the time, like with a professional on stage, if something happens that you're not planned, professional knows how to cover it and no one knows how to pick things up. Whereas
I think one time I actually put you it was a New Year's Day party in the heat of summer, and we decided to do a snow theme. And didn't I put you in ski boots? But I could have just got you like those moon boots. I decided to put you, the whole team of dancers, in ski boots, and you all look like deers on ice. It was weird. It was bizarre. Yeah. But you just came through with the goods.
Well, that's the job. You got to do it.
Yeah. Now you're in this position where you're, like I said before, you're an incredible osteo. Like, I've never met anyone who can fix you in 5 seconds flat. You do such a good job.
Thank you.
The dancing osteo is what you go under.
That is my business. It's called the Dancing Osteo.
Which I think is great. At first, I did think, do I need to dance when I'm in there for the osteo just to prove that I can dance? No, you are the dancing osteo.
Yes,
You're the only one who has done that much dancing and knows your body so well and can work with other people. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah. So it was funny, like trying to come up with the name for the business, because people are like, oh, that you're gonna. People think that they can't come and see you because they need to be a dancer to come. But I'm like, but the Dancing Osteo, the initials DO stands for, also in America, it stands for Doctor of Osteopathy.
Yeah, right.
So I wanted that as part of my brand.
Yeah.
And then also I had been studying canine osteo.
Yep.
So I wanted to change my logo to be the doggy osteo as well. So it would always be the DO. And it would just change slightly between the two.
I think at one stage in time you probably were the doggy osteo. Just quietly.
Yes. I mean, like on all fours, doggy. Is that what you're talking?
Yeah, thanks.
Probably last week. No.
What I was going to ask you too is, you see, do you find we're a society which is getting, we're becoming more in tune with we need to go and see osteos or physios or whatever. Years ago, you'd have back problems or whatever. It was just, get on with it and, take some pills and whatever. But do you find that's all changed now, that like people are really tapping into, I need to go and see this professional?
Yeah, 100%. Like, especially with osteos, a lot of people in Melbourne especially know what osteos do in the first instance. We have the highest, I think, amount of osteos practicing professionally here in Australia, because the course is only offered here in Melbourne, and then another place in Sydney. But definitely, and also it's our age group. As people reach their mid-30s, 40s, 50s, they start to value what good movement and good health is, and so they start to prioritize that. Whereas before, people just be like, it will get better.
Whatever. Yeah.
And if it doesn't, well then, I'll go have surgery. It's like, well, that's not the option that you need. You actually, surgery should be the last resort, because you want to keep your hardware as like in tip top shape. And then if it's not working properly and there's no other options, okay, well then let's look at surgery.
We are called Blessings and Bullshit Podcast. I want to know, out of that time that you went through, the dark, shitty fucking time on meth, what do you feel like the real blessing or the positive that came out of that for you? What was the thing?
So there's a few things. Like, definitely, one is my family. I started to engage with them more. Started going to family functions more. Spending time with my nephews and nieces. And my family is very loving. Like, the funny thing is we have issues showing emotion. It's stupid, but it's Asian families. That's what they're like,
Are you getting better with that?
Yeah, 100%. Yes, definitely. And then my friendship circle is super tight. Like, my best friend Benny, I reconnected with him. I see him all the time now. And then my friends Soha and Milena, who are very, very dear to me. So I met through that friend where meth was part of our relationship, our friendship. And
so that is the positive that kind of came out of that.
Yeah, so I had to distance myself from him, but I managed to keep them. Which is quite amazing. And then also another mate, Bevan, as well. We're all part of that circle. But the biggest blessing would be my fiance.
And I've met your fiance a number of times, and he's the most wonderful human being on earth.
Yes.
How did you navigate around? How long ago did you meet him?
Nearly 8 years.
Yeah. Yes. How did you navigate around the whole HIV thing with him at the
time? So I had always been quite open, like once I contracted HIV, with the people that I would have a sexual relationship with, because I always believed that being informed or making informed decisions is the best thing to do.
Yeah, right.
But he was one of the first people that I was really scared about what
actually
the response was going to be. Yeah, like, because all of a sudden Steve, my fiance. Yeah. Hi Steve. He was the first person for a long time that had that there was just something different about him when I met him. And again, I was like, he's a firefighter, yeah. But that didn't really matter much to me, actually, to be honest. Yeah. But he was just, there was something very interesting. He was very engaging.
Yep.
I was telling everyone, like, that guy is going to be my boyfriend from very early on.
Yeah.
But he had only been out for maybe 2 years before he'd met me.
Yeah, right.
And I don't know if he had really been exposed to what HIV means. Like, I was out during the dark days, when not when people were dying as such, but people were taking treatment. People would get very sick on treatment.
Yep.
It was still very much a juggling act as to how people would survive HIV. Whereas now the treatment is so good.
Yeah.
There's very minimal side effects when you're on treatment and you're consistent.
Yeah.
You can't transmit it because undetectable is untransmissible.
Yeah. So Steve, he was fine with the whole thing?
I think he was fine. Like he didn't really, but I didn't think he really understood what it might mean.
Yeah.
So it didn't scare him. Whereas prior, if I'd met someone before, like someone else that had kind of been around that kind of stuff, it might have been a little bit different.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you too, because being someone who, obviously contracted HIV, had to deal with them going on medication and so forth. Fast forward a few years later, then all of a sudden PrEP comes out.
Yes.
Which is, how did you react to the fact that PrEP was put on the marketplace, which could then help people avoid or not contract HIV? How did you respond to that?
I think it's great. I think it's a no-brainer. I think any gay man that is having casual sex should be on PrEP.
Yeah.
I think the difficulty with it is that people on PrEP may not be as consistent or adherent to their treatment schedule that someone that has HIV has.
Yep.
So even if people are hooking up and like, I'm on PrEP, but are they taking it when they need to? Are they having actual regular HIV tests?
Yep.
Do they know what their current status is? Yeah. Because when you have a test, your status is that at the time. Yeah. If you then are not having sex and not engaging in risky behavior, well, then you can be confident that it's the same. But if you, especially in the meth community, there's lots of people having lots of casual sex, unprotected, with multiple people. If they're on PrEP and they're not adherent, how do they know that they're not?
Yeah, right.
They haven't contracted HIV. So that is where I think is the great.
It's definitely got better.
Yeah.
It's definitely one of those things that I think people are, quite blessed now to be in a position where that's not one of the things that, I was reading an article 2 days ago, which basically said that the rate of HIV infection now in 2026 was 0.1%.
Amazing.
Which is so low.
Yep.
And they want to eradicate it entirely by 2030.
Yeah,
that's the grand plan. Right?
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, which is amazing. And so when you meet people now, my way of looking at it is people on HIV are on medication. People who don't have HIV or are sexually active are on medication.
Yep.
It's the same thing. That's how I view it.
Yep.
I've never sort of changed my view on that. How do you feel about that?
Ever trying to eradicate it? Is that So I think it is a great idea. I would love for them to be a functional cure or a cure for HIV. I think it's very difficult because the way HIV infects someone, it's not just virus in your blood. There's hidden reservoirs where it can hide and then become reactive later on. If they find a way to deal with that, then I think they can eradicate it. But you still see countries overseas, like in Africa and stuff like that, where they don't have treatment, or in America where treatment is actually quite expensive and stuff like that. We're very blessed here in Australia. You can get your HIV drugs for free at the health MHSC. So we're very lucky, but I think to eradicate it from the world is going to be a big job. Yeah. Especially when people like Trump are fucking cutting funding to let's not talk about him here.
This morning and ruin the vibe. Now, Leo, I want to say for you, the future for you, I believe, is looking really big. You've got big dreams and goals with your Osteo business. Yep. What's the big challenge for you now? What's the big thing you want to do?
I want to get married. That's my big thing.
Why not? To a firefighter. I know a celebrant that you can use.
I know. We have already like kind of discussed that. Yes.
Yeah.
But we do have some grand plans. We want to have the celebration that everyone wants to be at for our wedding. Yeah. So Steve and I have got some grand plans. We're going to have a circus themed wedding.
Of course you do.
Yes, and it's going to be a bit of a dress up, but it's going to be also like black tie. But we want to have it under a big top. We want to have some circus acts, some singers.
Yep.
But most of all, we want all the people that we love to be together and be a part of that energy and that celebration, because like we're very blessed. We have a lot of people in our corner and we feel that love all the time. We just want to give that back. And show everyone how much we appreciate them.
It's so awesome. I love that. What's the thing, if you could go back now and talk to your younger self who was going through all that shitty fucking stuff with meth and whatever, what would be the advice that you would give young Leo before he was a doctor?
Okay. So first one would be to actually be confident in yourself, I think. So for a long time, it may have seemed that I have confidence. Yes. But again, like on stage, that's a character.
Yeah.
I was very unsure of myself.
Yep.
For a very long time, and of my worth. So I would like to tell him to, look at how worthy you are. You know, you are worthy to be great. You are worthy to be up on stage. You are worthy to be loved.
Yep.
And the second one thing would be it is okay to ask for help. Like, I think throughout my life, I've kind of had it drummed into me that if you do something by yourself, if you can't do it, well, then you figure out how to do it by yourself. Yeah. And it's not really until meeting Steve and having a partner that is so supportive and wants me to be as happy as I can and the best version of myself, that even with him, it's been a bit of a journey to learn to ask for help. Yeah. Because I've always I've always just done things on my own. And if I can't do anything, if I can't do it, figure out another way to do it. But like I asked for help, especially when I was at dance school, the first time, if I'd asked for help, I might have actually stayed in dance school, you know, and then my career might have been a little bit different. I might have actually gone overseas. I might go to America, you know.
But I think everything leads you to where you are now.
100%. And I'm so happy where I am right now.
I tend to find a lot of people that I talk to, they have this, if only, but then they realize, they go, actually, if I hadn't gone through that, I wouldn't be where I am.
100%.
And I think you're doing incredibly well. And I wish you all the best with your future with Steve. He's an awesome guy. Your business. And I just want to say that I will catch up with you really soon, because I've been sitting in these fucking chairs. I'm starting to seize up. So I'm going to need a little magic hands, if that's okay.
We'll book you in.
Leo Cornelius, you're wonderful. Thank you.
Thanks, Dean.
Blessings and Bullshit is sponsored by St Kilda's best kept secret, the Hive Milton House co-working space. Amazing staff, rooftop views, incredible community, and a workspace that actually makes you want to show up. Look them up